The threefold body, made manifest in order to be the support for the weal and happiness of the world, has an eternal character in its manifestation. With reference to this subject, we have one verse. Having infinite causes for the attainment of his state, having an endless number of living beings to convert, being endowed with compassion, miraculous powers, wisdom and bliss, governing all the elements, vanquishing the demon of death, and representing non-substantiality, the Lord of the world is eternal. The summarized meaning of this verse is to be known by the following verses. Casting off his body, life, and property, he has preserved the highest doctrine. For the benefit of all living beings, he fulfills his first vow. In his Buddhahood, there is made manifest compassion, pure and immaculate. He shows his four bases of miraculous powers, by which power he abides in the world. Owing to his wisdom, he has liberated from the dualistic conception of samsara and nirvana. By his constant practice of the inconceivable meditation, he partakes of the complement of bliss. While he is acting in the world, he is unaffected by the worldly elements, having attained the state of quiescence and immortality. He leaves no room for the activity of the demons of death. Being of an immutable nature, the Lord is perfectly pacified from the outset, and he gives a refuge for those who have no shelter. Because of these points, he is eternal. The first of these motives show the eternity of the preceptor in his apparitional body. The latter demonstrate the eternity from the viewpoint of the absolute body. Now, this method of the attainment of Buddhahood by the Buddhas, which represents the perfect manifestation of the basis, is to be understood as of inconceivable character. With reference to this inconceivability, we have one verse. Being unutterable, containing the highest truth, inaccessible to investigation and incomparable, being the supreme and relating neither to the phenomenal world nor to nirvana, the sphere of Buddha is inconceivable even for the saints. The summarized meaning of this verse is to be understood by the following verses. It is inconceivable since it is unutterable. It is unutterable since it is the highest truth. It is the highest truth since it cannot be constructed by thought. It is beyond investigation as it is incomparable. It is incomparable since it is the supreme. It is the supreme since it is not included either in the phenomenal world or in nirvana. Not included means the Buddha abides in neither of the two, and never regards in a one-sided manner that nirvana is of merit and the other is of defect. Being subtle, he is inconceivable in his absolute body. And, on account of his apparitional body, he is inconceivable because of no identification with either nirvana or phenomenal world. Being endowed with the highest wisdom, with the great compassion and other virtues, the Buddha who has attained the ultimate point of virtue is inaccessible to human thought. Therefore, this final stage of the Buddha is unknown even to the great sages who have attained the stage of initiation. Finished is this chapter entitled The Enlightenment, in the analysis of the germ of the jewels, a treatise on the ultimate doctrine of the great vehicle.